Hey everyone, happy sunny Sunday. It is beautiful out there. It is Groundhog Day. Joy. I'm not really into Groundhog Day. I guess maybe if I lived in Pennsylvania it would be different, but don't really dig the Groundhog Day. But it is Super Bowl Sunday, and our team is not in it. Our team, meaning as a family, just our little family. We are Atlanta Falcons fans. Don't ask me why. I married into it with my husband, not so much his family. We're from New York, like born and bred, raised, the whole shebang. Um, I think the first time we actually ever saw any Atlanta Falcons playing was when we lived in Hawaii, and that was huge for my husband. We were not married at the time yet; we were still just dating. But so anyway, so our team isn't in it. However, I am in it to win it because there's a possibility that I could win one of the pools that I'm in if the 49ers win. Because all of the other people that I'm in like that bracket with from like first, second, third, they all have Kansas City. And so if the 49ers win, there's a possibility that I might win. Woohoo! That would be awesome. However, update on me. So I had my fourth Taxol Carboplatin on Friday, and it was the first time that I had a little bit of irritation with my oncologist, nurse, and team. The whole thing. Went in fine. Wasn't supposed to meet with the doctor because now I meet with the doctor every other week. So the week that I don't have to see my doctor or the nurse practitioner, it goes faster. I get out like way earlier, which is great because then it's not an issue in picking up my oldest son from school and then also picking up my youngest son from school because I have to pick them both up. So just in chatting as I normally do with my nurse, how's it going? Everything's fine. Really have I had like no side effects this past week. Then, outside the norm. Cold was on its way out because I had started it the week previous. Still have a little bit of nasal congestion, but it's not causing me any issues. I'm not coughing. I'm not sneezing. I don't have anything in my chest, whatever. Blah, blah, blah. So as I'm waiting, my nurse comes in and says, actually, the doctor does want to see you. She just want to check you out. So we're going to hold up on it. We're just waiting on the chemo. Your numbers are good. They'd already started on my pre-meds. I was already all hooked up. My port was already accessed. And my doctor comes down and wants me to understand, these are her words, how dire my circumstances are. Because I have a reoccurring cold and I possibly could have pneumonia. And I was like, I've had no fevers at all. Was on the treadmill actually yesterday. I have no congestion. I'm just blowing my nose constantly. I feel fine. My energy levels are, am I running, miles a day? No. But I highly doubt it, and the next words out of her mouth were, maybe we should delay a week. Let's not do chemo this week. And my answer immediately was, no, I'm not doing that. My numbers are fine. I feel fine. There's no reason because as everyone knows, I'm on this time, thing. I need to be done with chemo at the end of March. That's it. Because if we follow on this timeline, I will be very lucky if I am done with all of my treatment by July. And I've already been in it since November. I think that's enough. Like, if my numbers are good enough and I'm not sick, I don't see why we would hold chemo for a week. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. It's annoying, actually. And I use that word several times in that conversation with her. And so she's like, well, you might have pneumonia. Just let me do my job and let me check you out. And go ahead, check me out. Checks me out. No problem. All right, so then we'll do fine, we'll do chemo. But we need to watch why you keep getting colds. I have colds because I have 2 children in school that are coming home with extra germs. Now, the minute that we get home, they have to change their clothes, wash their hands. I have a whole routine here at the house where everything's being Cloroxed twice a day, probably. I go through everything that everyone's touching. There's nothing else that I can do. I am sorry that I have a low immune system right now because I'm on chemo. I'm not really going out to many places. And so I said to her, I was like, what else would you like me to do? Should I just ship off my children or what? What would you like me to do? And it was like, well, no, we just really have to keep a close eye on it. Okay, great. Let's keep a close eye on it. I'm going to keep doing everything on my end that I can do to make sure I don't have any infections because that's when I was told I wouldn't get chemo. as if my numbers were too low and if I had an infection. Well, my numbers were good. They actually got better from the week previous. So, so not happy about that. And so I'm starting to figure out it was because of my talking with the nurse, not my normal nurse. She's very nice, this nurse that I had her towards a couple of times. She's nice. But I guess, when she had called up to the office, where the doctor is and the NP to say, numbers are in, they're fine. She meant she had a cold. I said to the nurse and afterwards, because now she knew I was pissed. I was a little pissed. She was like, you just need to keep an eye on it. And I was like, it's fine. I learned my lesson. I don't say anything anymore. We're good. Don't worry about it. Learned my lesson. And so that's now I'm going to play it. Like, how are you? I'm great. Unless I am dying and I know that I actually have a fever and I'm really, really sick, I say nothing. Because I am not going to have my chemo delayed. Now, I understand the point is that give your body a rest. If there was no reason to, my numbers were higher. I was healthier that week than I was previous. So for anyone that's thinking, because I already had a thing on a chat board that I'm a part of, reminding me that I'm not a medical doctor and that I'm a novice cancer patient and that I don't know anything. And of course, what I love is that these people that are coming back at me and saying, I don't know anything and that I should have taken the week off, all, of course, use the pronoun of he for my doctor, and it is definitely a she. So that just tells me one piece of the word that they're thinking. And then the other one is that I think a lot of people, especially when they're thinking or talking about women that are younger that have cancer or anything else, people don't like it when you're an advocate for yourself or that you question why something's being done. I feel it is my right to question my doctors. I need to understand their rationale. I'm not asking for an entire breakdown on the mitochondria of a cell of an organism. That's not where I'm going. But if you're saying that you're going to do something or not do something, I need to understand your rationale for doing that. This is my life. This is my body. So to anyone that gets pissed at me or thinks that I'm being ridiculous or irrational for asking why something is being done or being taken away or whatever else, I think that you're wrong. I think that you have to ask about why something's happening. I made it really clear from the beginning that I'm not going to hide from the fact that I have cancer, right? I'm also not going to wear a pink ribbon on my head. I don't believe in branding and labeling. I think it's gotten a little ridiculous that the minute that there's cancer, it's pink everywhere. I'm not a huge fan of that. I think that there's a lot of money that's being passed around and kind of pisses me off, to be honest. But overall, I think it's important that people have a voice and that they should be able to ask questions about their treatment plans, especially if they don't agree with something or they don't understand something. You need to ask why. And if you need to, get a second opinion. And not to say get a second opinion only because the first opinion didn't agree with yours. They're not in cahoots. But you need to be an advocate for yourself because there are lots of cancer gurus out there. There are a lot of doctors out there. Not as many that specialize in triple negative breast cancer, but it's on the rise. There's a lot of them out there. There's tons of books are about it now. And be careful, I think, that which ones you're reading. I read one the other day that was complete crap. I'm not going to say what it is because that's not fair. It's my opinion that it was complete crap. But there's this collective voice often for triple negative of older women. When it's funny that triple negative is one of the fastest diagnosed cancers for young women, specifically African-American women. So I don't know where I'm going with it. I'm just saying I was pissed off. I was really, really annoyed to be told maybe we should take a week off just because I have a cold. It's a freaking cold. I understand it kind of sucks. It keeps coming back. I'm half wondering at this point, I'm wondering if there's allergies. Because if I'm not coughing, and I have no chest congestion, it's just constant nose. Like, maybe it's allergies. But who knows? I know nothing because I'm just a stupid teacher. I don't know anything. I don't have a medical degree. So, anyway. That being said, everything else is fine. They did take away a med this time, which was part of my little rant about asking why. Ask why. Because prior to being told maybe we should take a week off from chemo, I was told by my nurse, you're doing so well. You have like no side effects. That's fantastic. So since you've really been not having any side effects, we're going to take away one of the meds because you don't seem to need it. And one of them, it was, I take Prilosec at night here, whatever another antacid is. And so, of course, what happened, I get my chemo on Friday night, Saturday, in the morning, towards the morning, terrible, like, gas pains. I mean, terrible gas pains. Stomach upset, but not nausea. So, like, not where I would go and take Zofran. You know, I still have not taken a single nausea medication, but really bad stomach pain. So I'm going to, when I go back on Friday, I'm going to say, you need to give me that med back because you took it away. And the acid reflux yesterday was terrible. It was like it took my breath away. It hurt so bad. So I'm going to be asking for that back because I obviously need that. Everything else, though, is absolutely fantastic. And gearing up for another week. And so that's it, I think. Rant over. The happy Shannon was not there today. I thought it was hysterical. The week previous, my oncologist was saying, you remind me of, she said I reminded her of Melissa McCarthy. Of course, I went the other way with it. I was like, oh, great, right, because I've gained so much weight. Thanks, lady. But she was actually talking about my sense of humor because I literally am in there every Friday, happy, really just, everyone is greeted with, hey, how are you, sunshine? So good to see you. Hope you're doing well. And this time they saw the other side of it. So as intense in being nice as I can be, as intense, use bad word, as a bitch as I can be. Because if I feel strongly about something, I am not going to let you railroad me. Not happening. Just give me the toxic chemo so I can get out of here. That's what it was. Yeah. Great. Okay, so let's hope the 49ers win so I win some money because that would be awesome. And I hope you all have a fantastic week. It's going to be nice and warm, at least here on the East Coast. Warm by standards. Not like the standards that I used to have when I lived in Hawaii. Oh, yeah. Those were good days. So that's it. See you later.